Hi everybody, welcome to the Make It Chair. So in one of my last videos, which was my spring favorites video, check the link up here if you want to have a look at it, I talked about some of my favorite spring products and one of them happened to be Fake Up by Benefit. We have light, medium and deep, and I am the lightest shade as always. I use number 1 light and it works really well for my skin. So if anyone has a similar skin as me, then you're probably going to go for the light. So why is this so special? Well, it has a concealer running through the middle, as you can see, and this is the deep color. And then round the edge, as you can see, there has this kind of white kind of edge, but it's actually just a clear, like you can't see it, see? It's just like a moisturizing edge. And this has vitamin E and apple seed extract, so it's really good for the skin. But then you have the double up of applying a little bit of concealer and applying a bit of a moisturizer on the skin as well, so it doubles up as two things, and there's so many different uses for this. So use number 1 is for lines and wrinkles. So if you have kind of dehydration lines on your forehead or you have smile lines, apply a little bit and then just blend it in with your fingertips. And I love it for my smile lines because everything cakes up on my smile lines along here. It is so annoying. So I apply a little bit and then I just blend it in with my fingers. And even if you've applied your foundation or you've applied your foundation in the morning or something and it's started to cake up in that area, just grab a little bit of this, blend it in with your fingers, and then you're done. And it will kind of fix any of that kind of dry cakiness that you might have within your lines around your eyes or your smile lines or even on your forehead. It's also really good for any blemishes that you might have that are kind of drying up, kind of flaking off a little bit, and they're really difficult to cover because usually your foundation will just kind of gather in it, whereas this is so moisturizing that you're just going to apply a little bit and just dab it in. And it's great for topping up during the day because you can keep applying it and it's not going to get any worse. And it's also great for any areas that you have kind of flakiness, because I tend to suffer from flakiness, so I just apply a little bit and then kind of blend it in the direction of the flakes, so you're not kind of brushing it against the flakes, you're brushing it with them so that they're lying down flat. Under eye circles, perfect for that. Now I do find that it settles within the two lines that I have underneath here. As you can see when I do this, you can see how obvious they are. I do find that it kind of settles in those, but it doesn't settle around any of the other really fine lines, just that large one that I have under there. But apply a little bit of powder, just a kind of touch of powder with your fingertips. You can just dab it on and it will set it for you, and that shouldn't happen after that. Or you can use a setting spray, and a setting spray is actually really similar to a hairspray, but it's for your face. Don't use hairspray on your face. It's also great to keep it in your handbag. It's about the size of a lipstick along here. It's about the size of a lipstick, so really quite small and compact. Great for traveling with as well, and especially if you're traveling, you find that on the airplane your skin can get kind of dry. I always find that anyway. You can pop this on and actually pop it along the cheekbone area, because aside from just topping up your foundation and concealer, you can actually top it up along here and it will add that kind of glistening dewy effect to the skin, so it brightens it and makes it look kind of healthy and glowing. Another thing that you can use is the darker ones to apply a little bit of maybe a cream bronzer to the cheeks. So especially coming into like the summertime, maybe you want to have 2 of them, so you can use a slightly darker one to apply onto the cheeks area, and this will kind of give that bronzy effect and very naturally give it a bronzy effect, so you're not using an actual bronzer. And the final thing that it's really awesome for is covering up your lip line. If you find that you want to wear something a little bit more nude or maybe a little bit more intense and you want to kind of blur out your lips, but you find that your foundation and concealer tends to sit in the lines and dry out your lips, then try this, because you're just going to apply a little bit. It's going to moisturize them, it's going to keep them nice and soft, but it's also going to get rid of too much of that pigment coming through, so you can apply your nude lipstick over the top. I think these are probably best for someone who has dryish skin, because I find anyone who has really oily skin, you're probably not going to like the dewy effect that you get with it. That said, there's so many concealers out there that are for oily skin. Why not have one for people who have dry skin and need that extra moisture? So the extra moisture is there, the concealer is there, and you get a little bit of coverage without it ever looking too cakey or too over the top. So I hope that kind of covered a few things for you. If you do have any other unusual ways of using your Benefit or using just your concealer, then list it in a comment, because I would love to hear about it, and I will talk to you guys soon.